Level 1. The discovery. The candle closes, and something behind your ribs shifts. You don't understand what happened on the chart. You don't need to. Something moved, and where there was nothing, now there's a number, and the number is green, and green means money. It's 1 a.m. on a Wednesday. You found this because you couldn't sleep, and the algorithm served you a man standing next to a rented balcony talking about passive income and currency pairs. You didn't know what a currency pair was 20 minutes ago. Now you've opened a demo account on your phone in bed with the brightness turned down, so no one sees. You place a trade, GBP, JPY. You don't know why that one. The name looked serious. It goes up, $27 in 6 minutes. You close it. Your mouth is slightly dry. $27 for pressing a button while lying down. And the thought that enters your head will stay with you for years longer than it should. Why does anyone work a job? That thought is going to cost you more than you can calculate right now. You fund $500 on a Thursday evening with money that was supposed to go somewhere else. You don't examine that decision. The demo proved you could do this, so real money is just the next step. Your first live trade, EUR USD. You buy during your lunch break. It ticks up, $14. You close it, and your hands feel warm, like they just did something important. You open another trade immediately. This one drops. You lose $63 and hold it for 2 hours hoping it doesn't come back. You close it and sit very still and think the specific thought that keeps people at level 1 longer than anywhere else. I just picked the wrong pair. Your account ends the week at $411. You deposit another $200 on Sunday. You don't count that as a loss. You count it as adding to your position. That's the first lie. It won't be the last.
Level 2. The student. You've been doing this for 4 months. You've lost $740 across 3 deposits, and you've decided the problem is knowledge, not discipline, not the system, knowledge. This belief is the most seductive thing in trading because it's partially true, and partially true things are harder to let go of than things that are completely wrong. You consume everything: baby pips, YouTube, a $127 course from a guy who trades from Bali and films himself at a beach desk. You learn RSI, moving averages, Fibonacci, Bollinger Bands. You learn that professionals only risk 1% per trade. You write this down. You underline it. You risk 7% on your next trade because the setup looked perfect. You lose $94 in 31 minutes. The rules you wrote down are still underlined. You join a Telegram group, 6,000 members. Someone posts signals every morning. You follow them for 3 weeks. You win some, you lose some. Net, you're down $60 on signals and up nothing on understanding. But the group feels like progress because other people are there, and other people can't all be wrong. They can. You just can't see it from inside the room. The thing nobody tells you about level 2 is that information is free and edge is not, and they are not the same thing. Every indicator you learned is on every chart of every trader who is currently losing money. A pattern that everyone can see is a pattern the market has already consumed. You are not entering a trade. You are becoming the exit liquidity for someone who entered before you. You don't know this word yet. You will. Level 3. The break. There's a specific loss that changes the physics of how you sit in front of the screen. Yours is $380 on a Friday during NFP, non-farm payrolls. You didn't know what it was. You saw the candle spike and jumped in, and the spread widened to something you'd never seen. And by the time you could close it, your account was lighter, and your apartment was quieter, and your girlfriend was asking from the other room if you were okay, and you said yes without turning around. You revenge trade Monday morning. You don't call it that. You call it getting back to even. You lose another $210 by noon. Your account is at $270. You funded $1,400 total. You sit with the math for a long time. Then something happens that is the only reason you're still in this story. You don't quit. Not because you're brave, because quitting would mean the $1,400 was wasted, and admitting waste is harder than continuing to lose. That's not a noble reason to stay, but it's the reason most people stay, and sometimes bad reasons lead to the right place eventually. Level 4. The system. You stop looking for signals. Not dramatically. You just get tired one morning, and instead of opening Telegram, you open a blank spreadsheet. You go back through every trade you've taken in 6 months. Entry, exit, risk, reward, reason, outcome. The spreadsheet tells you things your memory hid from you. 68% of your trades had no defined exit before entry. Your average winner was held for 19 minutes. Your average loser was held for 6 hours. You were not trading, you were hoping with money attached. You build something small. 1 session, 1 pair. 2 conditions that must both be true before you enter. A stop loss placed before the trade, not after. A target that's 1.5 times the risk. You backtest this manually, scrolling through 3 months of London session charts, marking setups, logging results. Your win rate is 53%. Your reward to risk is 1 to 1.4. There's no Lamborghini in the spreadsheet, but the expectancy is positive. You trade this for 6 weeks without changing it. Up 4%, then 3%, down 1.5%, up 5%. It doesn't feel like what you imagined. It feels like a job you do alone in a quiet room. That's exactly what it is. You close the Telegram group. You don't announce it. You just stop opening it. The noise stopped being useful the moment you started generating your own signal. Level 5. The grind. You're consistent for 5 months. Not perfect. You have a losing stretch that lasts 9 days and makes you want to rebuild everything from scratch. You don't rebuild. You go back through the trades, find 2 that were off model, adjust, and continue. The system held. Your account is at $3,200. You deposited $2,000 total over the life of the account, which means you're up $1,200 in real P&L. That number would have embarrassed you a year ago. Now it represents something you've never had before. Evidence. You know your win rate, your average R, your max drawdown, your expectancy per trade. You know what your system does on trending days versus ranging days, and you know which days to sit out. Not trading is the hardest skill you've learned. Some days you watch the screen for 4 hours and take 0 trades and close the laptop, and that's a successful day. People at level 1 would not understand that sentence. Your girlfriend asks fewer questions now, not because she lost interest, because she watched you lose $1,400, and then quietly, without drama, turn it into something that makes money most months. She doesn't understand the charts. She understands the change. That's enough.
Level 6. The scale. You add capital, $8,000 total. The percentages are the same, but the dollars are different, and the dollars are what your body responds to. A 2% loss used to be $40. Now it's $160. Your chest does something on the first $160 loss. Not panic, recognition. You know this trade was valid. The loss is within the model, but something tightens anyway, and you have to sit with it and not click anything for 30 seconds. That 30 seconds is the whole game. Everything you've learned lives inside that pause. You find 2 other traders, not from a group, from a private thread where people share journals, not signals. Someone says, I missed confirmation by 1 candle and entered early and it cost me 1.2 R, and everyone understands. No one performs. No one posts green screenshots. The $5,000 day posts you used to admire, you understand now what those were. Content, product. You were the customer. You don't feel angry about it. You just see the structure now the way you see structure in a chart. Level 7. The quiet. You manage $22,000. Some yours, compounded over 14 months of documented returns. Some from a friend who watched your track record for 5 months and asked if you'd manage a small amount. You said yes. You set terms. Defined drawdown limit, monthly update, no interference with entries. Your mornings start at 6:30. You check the economic calendar, mark your levels, set your alerts, and wait. Some days the setup never comes. You don't trade. You close the screen at noon and the rest of the day belongs to something else. You've stopped drinking on weeknights because you tracked your execution quality against sleep hours and the data was clear. You didn't need a podcast to tell you. You needed a spreadsheet. You don't talk about trading at dinner anymore. You tried once, explaining what a liquidity sweep looks like, why price does what it does at session opens, how you know when the move is real and when it's a trap. The person across from you nodded and asked if it was like the stock market. You said sort of and changed the subject. The loneliness of competence is something no one warns you about. You're not unhappy. You want to be clear about that, but you're aware of what this costs, and the cost isn't money. It's the distance between what you understand and what you can explain. That distance gets wider every month you improve. Level 8. The mirror. Your account is at $64,000, compounded through 26 months of live execution with a documented track record and a system refined twice and simplified once. You eat lunch alone most days, not from sadness, from preference. The silence is where you think best. You sit at the window sometimes and watch the city and think about nothing in particular. And somewhere beneath that nothing, a part of your mind is always faintly watching the market. It never fully stops. You stopped fighting that a long time ago. You think about the version of you who placed that first GBP JPY trade at 1 a.m. in bed with the brightness turned down. You can describe that person. You can remember what they felt, but you don't have access to that feeling anymore. The surprise, the warmth in the hands, the absurd electric certainty that this was easy, that's gone. Not replaced by something better, replaced by something quieter and more durable and less fun. Somewhere on a platform right now, a demo account just went green. $27 on GBP JPY. Someone is lying in bed staring at the number with the brightness turned down. They're thinking the thought, the expensive one, the one that starts the whole thing. They think it's simple. They're wrong, but they'll learn, and it will cost them exactly what it cost you. And they'll stay anyway. They always do.